All right, people. So I'm back. Been thinking about Corcoran. Back in the day when I was in Corcoran, it was like 92, 93. I think I paroled in 94. And if anybody knows about prison in the 90s, they know about Corcoran. Corcoran was it was a lot of foul shit going on. You know, the police they had their little fight rings where they was setting up fights, and then if they didn't like who lost, they just smoking motherfuckers, and a lot of people died and it was just swept under the rug while the cops, the COs, was betting on it. It was a game for them, just something to keep them busy, keep them occupied. But you know, the inmates, you know what I'm saying, the convicts, we didn't have no choices. You know what I mean? You know, when you put in those situations, it's, you either, you know what I'm saying, you either a warrior or you a sheep. You know, ain't no in betweens. You know, because when you come up in there, you gonna get tested. Motherfuckers gonna question you, and you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, show your true colors. That's when everybody's true colors comes out, and you know, it's bad. A lot of people's true colors ain't what you thought. People go in there blue and come out pink, and you know, it's not a good situation. So when I got to Corcoran, it was 92. It was it was rough because as soon as I got off the bus, I had the SHU program. I came from Chuckwalla, level 2, and it was everybody knows, if any, well, the people who don't know, when you come to a prison, you on that bus and you drive through those gates into the Sally Port where you're just in a little caged box where gates all close and they go looking under the bus, and you know what I'm saying, checking everything out coming in, and you know what I'm saying, checking everything, and before you go in and before you go out, you go through that Sally Port. That Sally Port is the safe entrance through the electrified fence. The electrified fence, 50,000 volts. You touch that motherfucker, you're a piece of charcoal. So once you pull inside that gate, driving through into those walls, it's a feeling like you'll never forget it. And you know what I'm saying, some of the toughest people in the world, you know what I mean, when they got to those gates, yeah, that tough guy shit cracked. You know, everybody feels fear. It's a natural part of life. A lot of people don't want to accept it, don't want to admit to it, because if they feel that, I guess they admit to weakness or you're soft. Man, fuck what y'all going through. You know, this is the way it is. Fear isn't something to stop you. You're not supposed to, I'm saying, run from fear. You're not supposed to run from whatever is causing you to be in fear. Fear is just to tell you to be watchful, be ready. You know what I mean? It's a warning, and it's your body preparing, because everybody has a flight or fight, you know what I'm saying, part in them where when it's that time, they either gonna run or they gonna get down. Sometimes you can't run. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you can't win when you get down. But you gotta, you know what I'm saying, put forth your best effort. If you don't do that, you're not living up to your potential, your whatever makes you you. Because everybody has that in them. Everybody has the ability to step up. It's just a choice, you know. They say, I don't remember the saying, but it's something like, I'm saying, the road less traveled is narrow. You know what I mean? And it's not easy going down the right path. It's not easy standing tall. It's not easy, doing the right thing. That's what I want to get into today, doing the right thing. you know. So we're gonna be standing tall and doing the right thing. But we heading to Corcoran. We just pulled into the gate. You get that feeling coming through the gate, you know what I mean, well, I don't know what to expect. I hear, people talk about how it is and this and that. You go into the SHU, whatever, you know what I mean, okay. I don't know. I get up in there, they take us off the bus and they line us up. And there was one dude, I don't know, what I'm saying? I didn't know what he did. So they tell us when you get off the bus and you stare at your feet. Now you shackle your arms, you know what I'm saying, on a waist chain and your legs and an ankle chain. So you're shackled up and they telling you to look straight at the ground. Look straight at the ground. So I'm looking straight at the ground and a person, I guess 2 people down from me, I guess he wasn't looking at the ground because I saw him on the ground a minute after that. And that's when, the pigs let you know that they wasn't here to play. These wasn't the ones. These is what they call the Goon Squad. The Goon Squad is the prison police. Think about on the street you got the police. Well, they're the ones in there. They're the investigators, the detectives, the police. Even though you're surrounded by police, these are the super cops. They're the ones that do the dirty work. They're the ones that, put in the work. They're the ones that beat the crap out of you. How do you know? Well, I just happened to get the crap beat out of me. I came with a chip on my shoulder. I was young and dumb, full of cum, wanted some, and I hit Corcoran, ready for whatever. You know what I mean? And I thought I was tough. I thought I was tough. And at the time, I'm young. I don't, I'm ready to go, whatever. Let's go. Bring it. Don't be, don't be bullshitting. So it was a cop and the cop kept, talking shit, calling me a wigger and a wannabe. And he was mixed. He was half black and half white. So, I'm like, why this motherfucker banging on me? But, just like the old Ice Cube song, Fuck the Police, you got the black cop showing out for the white cop. This dude is trying to make me look bad because I'm trying to run with the brothers and, this crip. So, he looks at me, who is he? This white boy, But, maybe secretly, he was wishing he could get down. This crip, fool. You know what I mean? But he was too yellow. High yellow. So, I got a big mouth. So he's, crack talking shit to me. I'm talking shit back. You high yellow, piss color yellow motherfucker. You know what I mean? Won't you take your bitch ass up? You know what I mean? So it got to the point where, take take that badge and gun off and bring your bitch ass up in my cell. So I was talking shit, out my door. You know what I mean? And he talking shit back, And then, whenever he escorted me, he whispered in my ear talking shit, And the shit pissed me off, so I'm calling him out. And so the motherfucker, took off his belt with his mace and his motherfucking billy club and his cuffs and his shit. And he took that shit off and I wasn't paying attention. And then he took that all the shit off. And that motherfucker came, came up at my door and told the motherfucker rack the door. And said, this what you want? Now the dude wasn't little. He was about the same size as I am. You know what I mean? He wasn't no little dude. But he was on the weight. You know what I mean? You said he'd been taking that man in the can, some protein powder. So, he had a little size on him. You know what I mean? He wasn't no little dude. But I'm not no little dude either. So, the dude, figures, he can handle me. So, he told other police to open up my door. Man, this fool came up in my cell. So, I'm ready to go. Let's get it. And, I square up, and the fool come in there and just bull rush me and grab me and want to wrestle. So now we up in there, you know what I mean? So I'm not fisting to be wrestling with your dumb ass. You know what I mean? I know that if you up in this cell, then you can touch this locker, touch this bunk, touch this locker, you know what I mean? I'm bouncing him off everything up in the cell. We wrestling around up in there because, you know what I'm saying, he grabbing on me. So I'm, you know what I'm saying, trying to get up out to where I can get a punch in and put in some work. And the next thing you know, opportunity, he gets locked up, you know what I mean? I put him in a sleeper. And you know what I'm saying, I'm locking up on him. I get my legs wrapped around him, you know what I'm saying, and I start pulling. And the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, taps out. Okay. All right, man, you know what I'm saying, I ain't no killer, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to kill the police, you know what I'm saying, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, trying to do life up in this motherfucker. So, you know what I mean, the fool taps out, I let him go. The fool leaves up out my cell. I figure that's it. You know what I mean? Two men have a problem, two men deal with it. You know what I mean? That's some grown man shit, right? That's the way I was raised. You know what I mean? Two men have a problem, two men deal with it. You know what I mean? None of that bullshit. Motherfucker be a man. So, it's over with, right? Man, it's like 3, 4 in the morning. Excuse me. I wake up and my cell door is opening. Cell door don't open until you cuffed up. Everybody know this. How the hell my cell door opening? The lights ain't even on outside. None of that shit. So my door is opening. So I'm kicking out the blanket trying to get up off the bunk. I'm in the cell by myself, you know what I mean? So I'm on the bottom bunk. So I kick up out the blanket and I come up and I get like halfway up and I get hit. These motherfuckers got a shield, a big ass shield. And then it's like, you know what I'm saying, 100 motherfuckers. It feels like 100 motherfuckers behind them because they smash me onto the motherfucking desk. You know what I mean? Ain't shit up in there. So they smash me onto the desk, you know what I mean, until one of them grabs my arm and I'm trying to get up out of it, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know what I'm saying, another motherfucker, my other arm, they got my legs, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got me on the ground and they beat me. And I ain't never been beat like that. But these motherfuckers, they got the full shields, the head helmets, you know what I mean, chest plates, and you know what I'm saying, all this armor bullshit on. I'm up in here in my drawers and my socks, you know what I mean? And these motherfuckers bouncing me off of every piece of concrete and metal up in this motherfucker cell. So I'm trying to fight back, but ain't no fighting that. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are holding me while somebody else is beating the shit out of me with something. I don't know what they was hitting me with. Somebody told me it was a flapjack. I didn't know what a flapjack was. I do now. It's a little piece of lead inside of some leather, and it has like a little, you know what I'm saying, tap. But they say if you know what I'm saying, if it hits you on a bone, it'll break your bone because of the lead inside. So anyway, you know what I'm saying, I had big purple blue bruises from my shoulders to my feet. I'm talking about everything, you know what I mean? These officers were, okay, I already told you, Goon Squad. I think they train in how to beat somebody's ass because they did a hell of a job. I ain't never been beat like that. And afterwards, you know what I'm saying, in my head, it's like, man, I'm sorry. I'll be good. But no. I sat on the floor for a day and a half. Didn't move. I passed out when they were kicking me in the nuts. I don't remember nothing else after that. I woke up on the floor in the cell and they were gone. And you know what I mean, I heard people hollering, people, in the vent hollering down, you know what I mean? Man, I'm not moving. Everything hurt. I'm talking about I ain't never been beat like this. I done been boop-bopped a lot. You know what I mean? I grew up in the hood. My homies gave me the blues. I got my ass whooped like every other day. When some days, some summers, you can go for every other day, But it was rough. And then, they don't want nobody to know. So you won't be able to see an MTA, none of that. You know what I mean? Because then they'll have some kind of evidence that there was some damage to you. How does damage happen? And they have to have some kind of report or some shit So you ain't gonna do none of that. They come. I remember, laying on the floor. And then the next morning they came and I looked up and they opened up my tray slot and they put a tray up there. And I could smell the slop that was on it. But I'm not moving. I'm on this floor and that's it. I'm not moving. Just don't move because everything hurts. I laid on the floor. They came back to pick up trash, dumped that tray in the trash, closed the tray slot, left my lunch bag up there. That sat. Dinner time came. They put a tray up there. They came back and threw that motherfucker away because I didn't get off the floor until the next day. And then I was just, tired of being on the cold floor and climbed up onto that rack. It was rough, And like I say, no medical, none of that. You know what I mean? We can't have no evidence. And then, truthfully, I was pissing blood for a couple days, and I wasn't really worried. I'm indestructible. Can't stop, won't stop. I don't stop. I don't give up. I don't quit. I don't get sick. I don't, I don't feel pain. None of that. If you put that shit in your head, that's bad juju. You set yourself up. And your body, your mind is a powerful thing, I believe, personally. Because the mind can control the body. If you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm sick, then your mind will create a sickness, and your body will accept it. Oh yeah, my mind said I'm sick. That must be it. But no, I'm never sick. I don't get sick. We all know, uncontrollable things happen. But we just never admit to sickness. We never admit to weakness. We never admit to pain. We just, I don't feel pain. We all know the real. But I believe I don't want to put bad juju in my head. You know what I mean? That's like when people say, I'm sorry. I'm not a sorry motherfucker. I ain't, I am not sorry. Now, when I'm wrong, I am man enough to apologize. An apology is an apology. But saying I'm sorry has two meanings. One, it means I apologize. So why not say that? On the other hand, it means I'm sorry, meaning me as a person, I'm a sorry person. I'm sorry. Nah, that ain't me. I ain't sorry. I'll be damned. So anyway, back to Corcoran, and they don't let me see nobody. And then I heal up, That's the way it goes. You sit on that floor, you sit, in the bottom of that cell, wherever you at. And mentally, you're going to get to the point where you don't want to sit there no more. And I don't want to be in a box no more. So now wheels start turning. What can I do? What can I do? So I'm thinking, man, what can I do? Because I'm in here for armed robbery. I robbed a drug dealer. The drug dealer said we stole the drugs that he was selling out of his house. And he went home. So you can get on the stand and admit that you're a drug dealer, but it's crazy. Anyway, so it's in Corcoran, and after about 2 weeks, I'm healed up, and they tell me it's a attorney. They tell me the lieutenant wants to see me. They come get me at in the morning, 10. Motherfucker been there asleep, been up all night fishing and shooting shit. So they tell me, I gotta go see the lieutenant. So I got my T-shirt, and my drawers, little shower shoes and flip flops. So they take me over there. They cuff me up. Take me out of my cell, take me over. They got a chair, turn around backwards. You sit on the chair, and with your cuffs behind you. In front of the desk and talk to the lieutenant. So I don't know. I don't know. How this stuff goes. All I know is I don't want to get beat like that no more. You know what I mean? So, what we got to do to avoid these whoopings, because I don't want to do this no more. But anyway, if anybody, like I say, knows about Corcoran, you know what I mean? This dude's name was F.A. Rodriguez. So he was a lieutenant at the time, and, he's sitting there with my file in front of him, and you know what I mean, so I'm usually, expecting them to bring up the, so you're a Crip, huh? You know. But nah, he asked me, so you got into it with one of my officers? So I'm sitting there cuffed up, Nope. He's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't get into it with one of my officers? No, sir. Well, some of my officers didn't come pay you a visit? No, sir. So you're telling me none of this stuff, the reports that I got from my guys, is true? And they're all just making it up. I'm like, I don't know what reports you got, but it wasn't me. I got witnesses. I wasn't even there. So this goes on. He asks a few more times, and then he says, okay, look, if you see some of my officers, are we going to have any problems? No. So he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to cut you loose early. So I don't understand what's going on. But, 2 days later, they take me to classification and they tell me they're cutting me loose to the level 3 yard early from my SHU. So, okay, I'll take it. So I went to the AR, to the hold there, got classified again, and then they shot me to the C yard. I stayed on the C yard for a couple years, It was, when I hit the yard, the first thing, every time I go somewhere, the first thing they do is put you in the office with, oh, you're a Crip. Look, there's not a lot of Crips here. It's mostly, from San Diego, it's mostly the Skylines. But, we can move you to another yard. Now, later on, I'm young, dumb. I don't know how the system works, but, the thing is the lieutenant or sergeant or whoever it is, they know that SnowRoc is going to be a problem. The SnowRoc is going to cause problems on this yard. That's going to lead to paperwork and more work for their officers and them. And to avoid it, let's just get him to tap out and get him over here on this other yard or off my yard. You know what I mean? Because the cops don't give a fuck about, the next yard. They just care about what's going on their yard because this is what they're responsible for. So it is what it is, and I'm on the yard, so I walk, I walk on the yard like, but people look at me, they just like, oh, man, another white boy, you know what I mean, So I hit the building, they got me up in the cell with a dude, hey man, so he looking at me funny, I'm like, hey homie, I'm a Crip, check this out. He's like, oh man, okay. Well look man, I'm from LA, I don't want my hood to get involved if the white boys come up in here to get you. So then my homeboy, my big homie is the porter in this building. So he comes over and he's like, SnowRoc. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm Guy. I'm like, what's up, cuz? So we chop it up and he's like, what's up, man? And so I tell him, look, man, I just came from the SHU, these motherfuckers, just to get down, what I got to do. He's like, look, man, we go get at the white boys, find out what they want to do, all right. So this motherfucker, got like 22s and shit, monster, 6 foot, 6'5", 6'6", the big homie. So, big Guy was a beast, and this is my direct big homie. He from 41st Street, he grew up right there. So it's I know him, but we got other homies, Crazolo was there, it was SDC was okay. We had some, some real motherfuckers. And old ass Cooter, that motherfucker crazy and motherfucker box of rocks. But we had some solid homies, so we was alright. So we go get at the white boys, well, no. At first, it didn't go like that. he got at the white boy in the building and asked him if any of the white boys had a problem, they can go up in the cell one-on-one. So now, you know what I'm saying, okay, nobody wanted to fade in the building. So that's it. It's over, right? Bam, we move on. So next day I'm out on the yard, you know what I mean? So I'm out on the yard with the homies, you know what I'm saying? So Guy go in because he's a porter, so he got to go to work. So he goes in, you know what I'm saying, a little while later. No, matter of fact, Guy had went to the weight pile. So Guy went to the weight pile. And he the big homie. The rest of us is, you know what I'm saying, Cooter is older, you know what I'm saying, but the rest of us is youngsters. So we with the bullshit. So we out there fucking around, talking shit, shooting shit. And a white boy comes over with crutches. And he's like, hey, man, where you from? So I'm from the neighborhood. He's like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying, where you from? So I'm from 40s. He's like, nah, man, where you from? I told you, I'm from 41 block. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck this dude is looking for, you know what I mean? But basically it's crap. So the motherfucker like, you know what I mean? Nah, man, what city you from? Like, I'm from San Diego. It's like, man, I'm sorry, man. Somebody told me you was from IE. Okay. So then he left. So, okay, time goes on, you know what I'm saying? Now Guy done heard about this on the weight pile. Stopped his set, came over here to where we was at. What that white boy say? White boy came over here and asked me where I was from. I told him I'm from the neighborhood. That motherfucker said, nah, man, where you from? I said, I'm from 40s. That motherfucker said, nah, man, where you from? I'm from 41 block. And that motherfucker like, nah, man, what city you from? Then he said, oh, you know what I'm saying? I thought you was from IE. IE, come on. So he tell me to come on. You ain't got to tell me twice. Let's go. So we go over there and we walk straight over to the white boy weight pile. And now, you know what I'm saying? It's rules in prison. You know what I mean? You don't walk through the other races' tables. You don't walk through the, you know what I'm saying, other races' areas. You know what I mean? People have designated areas on the yard that's theirs. This is the South Side. This is, you know what I mean? The Crips. This is, you know what I mean? The whoever, the whites, or everybody has their own little sections, and you don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't step on those. So it was shocking. I didn't know what was going on. All I know is, you know what I'm saying, get ready. So we walking over there, you know what I'm saying, the white boy's like, it's going down right now. So we go right over there, walk right up on the white boy weight pile. And the homeboy Guy go right to a San Diego white boy. You know what I mean? Tatted up and everything. He's like, man, check this out. Yo, people, you know what I'm saying, got a problem with my homeboy. This is my homeboy. He from my neighborhood. If anybody got a problem, they come see me right now. Ooh! Damn! Who wanted? None of them. The motherfuckers pee on themselves. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying, look, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody tripping. Well, you better find out whoever coming over here questioning my little homie. And he told them, you know what I mean, so the motherfucker went, you know what I'm saying, so we sitting over there in the grass later. Now the other homie had came up with some trees, so he had a joint. So it's like, here, man, we finna smoke this. So we out there, you know what I'm saying, smoking the joint. And then, like, you know what I'm saying, 10 minutes later, we high. And this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, I'm high. And the motherfucker, I ain't had no weed in, you know what I'm saying, a couple of years. No, it ain't been that long. A couple months, yeah, almost a year. So it was about a year. And it's like, you know what I'm saying, so we sitting there high, you know what I'm saying, so then two white boys come over, you know what I mean, and guys peeps them before they get close. And he's like, cuz, watch these white boys coming up right here. So we turn around, you know what I'm saying, when they come, like, what's up, you know what I mean, So the motherfucker comes over, you know what I mean, he's like, hey, man, I'm from IE, you know what I'm saying, no disrespect, my homeboy came over here, you know what I'm saying, he didn't know, you know what I'm saying, he thought you was from IE, he thought you was one of us, we don't want no problems, you know what I'm saying, just letting you know this is the situation. He didn't know, you know what I mean, we all good, ain't nobody tripping on your homeboy, you know what I'm saying, all right. So the homie Guy like, all right, he just standing there watching them, you know what I'm saying, just mean mugging the shit out of these motherfuckers. They like, all right, and they going about their business. So I'm like, damn, you know what I mean, So this is my big homie, you know what I mean, this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, I told you he's a beast, you know what I mean, this motherfucker is 6'6", you know what I'm saying, got 20 2-inch arms, hitting everything on the weight pile. There was only one dude that could compete with him when they had the lifting contest. You know what I mean? But the other dude was like, you know what I'm saying, had like 200 pounds on him. You know what I mean? He was more fat, you know what I mean? But the homie was just a beast. And so, after that, the homies had real security on me, and I didn't understand at the time. I would get off work. I was behind the wall in vocation, and vocational auto mechanics. So when I come back to the yard, you strip out, you go through the metal detector. So now everybody know, you know what I'm saying, that when you come through that metal detector, you coming through butt naked. You ain't bringing no knives through there. You know what I mean? Every now and then when the police sleeping, but you know what I mean? You ain't bringing no knives through there. You know what I mean? And so I get off work. Every time I get off work, it's two of my homies waiting out front for me. And as soon as I get out, something put in my hand, just in case. You know what I mean? Because the homies, you know what I'm saying, is we gonna stay ready so that we don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? And that was the training. You know what I mean? This is your life on the line. This ain't no game, you know. So I love my big homie. I love you, Guy. You taught me a lot. And you know what I mean, he was a real homie. You know what I mean? He was a real big homie. He had done time. He knew, you know what I'm saying, how to do time. And he taught me, you know what I'm saying, and and some of the stuff I learned from him helped me later on through my life. I mean, it's sad that when I look back and I see where my boy is at, this is my big homie and I love him, but he still chooses, you know what I'm saying, to be on drugs. And it's sad because, you know, it's so much. You could have done so much talent that's lost. There's so much talent that's taken away because people spend so much time or get trapped inside of a pipe or or inside of a syringe or, it's sad. And this is like our community. When you're in prison, most of the people in there get high. Even the ones that aren't supposed to. A lot of people there's structure and prison gangs and street gangs and you know what I mean, and there's rules and regulations, and each group has its own rules and regulations, and some of them you're not even supposed to be using, anything like that, crystal, heroin, cocaine, stuff like that. That's, you know what I mean, because you're not in control of yourself. You know what I mean? Anybody with that sack is controlling you. How do I know this? I was taught this. And I've used this. This is part of the reason SnowRoc survived all the years I spent in prison. Because like I said, I'm a hustler. So, you know what I mean? If you control that sack, a lot of people want to be your friends. And you ain't got to be the only one. You ain't got to have the only sack. You just got to have a sack. You just got to, be able to, manipulate a little bit to get where you need to be or do what you need to do. And like I say, with manipulation, I manipulated as much as I could, anything I could, even COs. Man, I had COs. I had a CO tell me we're a lot alike. I grew up in a Black Baptist church. And I was like, damn, I ain't never seen a black church before. Usually they're white. You know what I mean. But you know what I mean, because I'm with the blacks. You're just a cop. Oh, the other one was, I grew up in Philadelphia. I didn't know what he meant at that. And then he told me later, it's like, oh man, Philadelphia's 80% black. And oh really? Yeah, I grew up, I'm saying, the same way you did. Yeah, right. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying in my head because, okay, now, I'm saying I can use this because the same motherfucker from Philadelphia. Hey man, look, they got an opening on that. You know what I mean? Can you give me, I'm trying to get a job over there. I just graduated vocational janitorial. You know what I mean? Can you give me a job in the visiting room? So one thing led to another. SnowRoc was working in the visiting room. So now I go out there, on the weekdays, ain't no visiting. But that's cool, you know what I'm saying, because I'm smarter than, most motherfuckers give me credit for. So I figured a way, to get the goods in, and you can leave it in the visitor room. And then when I come out to clean it up, I'll pick it up. Now, when I come to work, I'm known as Radio Raheem. This is level 4 Lancaster. This is about 95? Yeah, like 95. And like I said, I got out of Corcoran. I was only out for 7 months. I stayed out for 7 months, came back for a fist fight in Tijuana. Anyway, so I'm in Lancaster, and now I'm working in the visiting room. So this is level 4. It's ugly because every cellie I had life. You know what I mean? I got a date. I get to go home and shit. I don't want to tell nobody I got a date. So I'm out there in the visiting room, and like I say, I'm a hustler. So what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find ways, and bam, that's when I see it. Like, oh, I can do this and have them put it right here and then come back out here and pick it up. I just need to know this and this. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. So now, I'm getting at people on the yard that are getting visits like, hey, man, I know you the man. Look here, man, I can, if you can get it out there, just drop it off. I can pick it up and bring it back on Monday. Man, all I need my cut. My cut is half. Transportation fees are high in prison. So I'm going to need half. You get the dope here, and then I'll bring it in, and then I give you half. So I give you half. Do you hear that? I give you half. You're not, working me. If I bring it in, I give you half. And that's what it is. So, after that, Snow owned. You know what I mean? But Snow ain't got nothing. So Snow's a hustler. So Snow's stacking. I ended up leaving there. I had a little dough on my books, and because like I had a few family members that looked out for me, but my family ain't got much. So I get like $25 a month. And in prison, you can live off $25 a month. I know, because that's how I started out. But I like to live a little bit better than that. So that's when, you need a little bit more. And, you have to learn how to, maneuver, how to, get around the system, how to fall into the cracks and get the things you need to get. So, we're gonna close right here, give y'all a break, save some more for the next time. Look, hit that subscribe, hit that like, share it with somebody. Somebody want to hear this shit. All right, I'm out at y'all. Go.